I'm officially out of business. What about this coronavirus though? It seems like that's been the main topic every single client for the past like 2 weeks, and it's not annoying me, it's kind of interesting. It's interesting how crazy we've all been going. I say we, because we are the people. We're all going crazy. But anyways, I'm out of business. I'm not gonna be working for 3 weeks. It's a little scary because I mean this is like my main source of income. I'm not gonna be bringing in money. I don't know how I'm gonna eat. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I still gonna be able to pay my bills? I don't know. So I might be living on the streets in a couple of days. Nah, I'm just playing. So a lot of people are worried about this whole coronavirus, but I'm actually kind of excited. I know it sounds weird, and I shouldn't be excited because it is a deadly virus and it's affecting a lot of people's lives. And like I said, like a lot of people are losing their jobs. I'm one of them. But at the same time, I'm super excited because now it's a great time for me to come in and I can really concentrate on myself. I can really do all the things that I've been wanting to do, all the courses that I've bought that I haven't been able to take yet because I've been super busy behind this chair, which I'm grateful for this chair because it brings me money, it supports my family. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I really, to be honest, do not feel like doing anything else. So with this coronavirus, I'm actually having the opportunity to do all the stuff that I haven't been able to do. Like I said, I'm about to work on my barbering skills. I'm about to work on my photography, my video, and my money skills, everything. I got a lot of stuff I want to work on. So this next 3 weeks is going to be nothing but work. I'm going to be in the shop working, and I know I'm supposed to stay home, but this is my home. Like literally, this is where I spend my time. So with that being said, let's get to it. Alright, so jumping into this tutorial, my client did just get a perm. Now, perms are something that have become really popular in the past couple months. I would say each week our shop mainly gets about like 10 to 15 perms a week. So like I said, they've become extremely popular. Now, I think it was looked down upon at the beginning whenever I first started doing mine. I did mine last year and people were like, what, really? Like you got a perm? Like guys don't get perms, only women do. But that wasn't the case. Now a lot of younger kids have taken upon it and they're getting perms, so I think I started something. Just a little side plug for that. But anyways, we're doing a mid-high taper on him and we are going to skin it all the way down. So with doing a perm, it's no different than just doing any other kind of haircut. You still attack it the same way. You still make your bald guidelines and you still want to go about half an inch in between each guideline. So on him, he does have a little bit of trickier hair. You do see that the hair seems to be a little, it's thick, but it's still thin at the same time. So I don't want to spread out the blend too much. That way we can keep some of the darker shade in his fade. And also another problem you would see here is that making the transition from straight hair to the curly hair, which is a perm, it can be a little bit tricky and it can be difficult, but like I said, you treat it the same way as if you were any other haircut. We're still going to make the guidelines, we're still going to debulk. So right there I had the 1.5, I made my guideline, and now with my number 1 I'm erasing the guideline between the 0 and the 1.5, which would give me a number 1. Now of course the number 1 isn't going to take out the guideline completely, so what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to switch to my half guard, and I'm going to stay attacking the middle line right in between the 0 and the number 1 now. See, so as you can see, I'm attacking that line right there, right like I said, right in between the 0 and number 1. Now I am going a little bit higher than the initial guideline right there, and that's strictly because you want to create that gradiency from short hair into longer hair. So this is the fun part. Now going into the curly hair, you see I'm kind of lifting up the perm just because in that general area I do want to keep the hair a little bit darker. That way it doesn't seem such a separation. I want to be able to create that illusion that it's all the same hair. So I did cut it down a little bit, but like you can see, it's still dark. If I would have went all the way up, followed through to the parietal ridge with the number 2 and taken some of the curls out, then I would have really taking some of the darker shade that I need in there to keep the square look. And of course now I took off every guard and I'm just really detailing, And starting off the back, same thing, we're going to make a first initial guideline. Now if you haven't checked out the trimmers yet, yeah, definitely got to check these out. These trimmers are some of the best that I've gotten. They are a little bit more of the expensive side, but they are definitely worth it. Now the only downside about these clippers that I really don't like are that they are a little bit noisy, and that's the only thing that I wish that they could change. But I mean, it is a rotary motor, so you can't expect it. So going in with the no blade again, I'm making my first initial guideline. Well, my second guideline now, if you want to call it, because we made the first ball line. Now we're making our second guideline, which is equivalent to the half guard. Now this is just the blade all the way open, and I know you couldn't really see it, but you can see the lever right there. I did close it, and I started at the very bottom, trying to erase out the first initial guideline. And every time I go up, I open up the lever about a 1/4 inch until I'm fully open into the next guideline. So now after that, I did go ahead and jump into the number 2 guard. Now the reason why I'm jumping into the number 2 guard is because I want to go ahead and debulk some of that hair first. I don't want to have to worry about going up too far with my number 1 or anything. Usually whenever you go in with the number 1 without debulking any of the hair, or in general whenever you try to just make guidelines without debulking the hair, then what happens is you can't really see precise guidelines, and you end up pushing the fade up way higher than what you initially thought you were. So always be sure to debulk some. That way you can be safe and actually be able to know where your guidelines are going to be sitting at. And once again, I took off the 1 guard I put on the half guard. Now I'm erasing the line between the 0 and number 1. So right here I did realize that I wanted to take up that fade a little bit higher. So I'm going in with the number 2 guard again, just to debulk some of that area around the occipital bone. That way I can go in and spread the blend out a little bit more. His hair is really dense in the back right here, so that's why I'm spreading the blend a little bit more. That way we can actually see it from far away. Whenever you keep the fade too dense and too compact, sometimes it just ends up looking like a big weighted dark spot. And even though from up close you can see that the fade is blurry and it's really faded out nice, from far away it just looks like a chili bowl haircut. So that's why sometimes you want to go ahead and spread out the blend a little bit more. Me, my personal opinion, I love spreading out the blend more. One, it is easier to fade out. No lie, like a lot of people say that's cheating, and I mean you do have to give the client what they like. But I mean, if the client really doesn't know, or if they like a more compact fade, a little tighter fade, or a spread out fade, then I generally always give them a spread out fade, because like I said, it is easier to do, it saves me time, and you don't really have to worry about like a lot of darker areas being left behind, because you are spreading that blend out more. So, and that's what I generally like to do on that. And as you can see, pushing the fade up higher really did help out on this client, especially because it's going to be able to last them a little bit longer. Now, following up with the shear work in the back, you see that I have a lot of weighted area, and I was just trying to clean that up, and it really didn't clean it up with the shear work because it's just too dense. But we're going to come back to that in a little bit. But now, as you can see, these clippers are pretty nice as well. Now, these clippers are a great alternative if you don't want to spend the money on the Gold FXs. These clippers, I think they're originally like $60, plus the GTX blade that I put on there. About another $11 off Amazon, and you're set to go. And like, this clippers cut down really nice, just like butter. They really get the job done. So these are a great alternative if you don't want to spend the money on the Gold FXs. Now, one of the main things you want to pay attention to, like really pay attention, is be sure to clean up behind the ears. Be sure to clean around the nape area, because for some reason that's the area that most people notice. A lot of moms, whenever they come in and check up on a haircut, the first thing they do, they pull back those ears and they look under the collar, make sure all the hairs are done, and literally like that's all they worry about. Like, the fade can be the blurriest fade ever, but they're not even going to worry about that. They're just going to be worried about the little hairs on the nape area or behind the ear. It's crazy to me, like, but that's the small little details that people do watch. And now, also, don't be intimidated by taking off the guard and just going in freehanding with just the blade all the way open or closed, just to get in between the darker hairs and really be able to smoothen that blend out. Now, just to really finish off blending in the fade into the curly hair, then I do like using the clipper over comb method. Now I do have a guard on my clipper right now, but a lot of people like going in with no guard and clipper over combing, but I don't really feel comfortable with that. I'm playing it more on the safe side, so I put the guard on there and it works just as perfect. Now the weighted area behind the ear, as you can see, I did clean that up. Make sure you clean that up. I took some of the bulkiness out and it just created a smoother transition than when I was trying to do with the shears. So now on this other side, I really didn't show the whole fade. I feel like once you do one side, it's literally like exact same steps on the other side. So I'm just showing you how I detail, and once again, don't be intimidated by using just a blade without a guard on it. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the fade. It's not going to push it up. The only way you're going to push it up is if you go in with a full blade and try to detail like that. So right there, especially right here, you can see that I'm only using the first two blades of my clipper. I'm not really using the whole blade at all. And like I said, like, go ahead and detail a little bit while you're here. Go ahead and line up the beard in the back, and once again, you want to be sure to clean up the hairs behind the ear. That's really the main thing I take pride in. I always make sure I cleaned up the hairs behind the ear. And I mean, and not just that, like, it does create a better haircut. It gives it more of a 3D effect whenever you clean up the hairs. And I did miss a little bit of there. You could see one little piece of hair, but I did go back and get it. Now his hairline, he does have more of a trickier hairline. Without offending him, he does have more of a rainbow hairline. You know, like his hairline, just like at the corners, his hair tends to go down a little bit farther. Now it does seem like I pushed his hairline back, but we've tried keeping it natural before, as natural as possible. But like I said, it just gives that rainbow effect hairline, and really it wasn't a good look on him. So I do push it up a little bit, and that way we can give him more a square masculine look. So another thing you want to do right here whenever you're creating a C-cup or the hook, I like to call it the hook, once again, you use the corner of your blade. You don't want to use a whole clipper, because then you'll end up creating like a square shaped look to it. And right here, you just start at the top and do a little bit on the sideburn, and then just connect the two in the middle. And once I turn them, you'll be able to see how that C-cup really came in nice. And also, don't be scared to move their head around. Don't just stand in one spot and like twist your body onto the other side, trying to keep them comfortable. Like, see, that C-cup came in nice. But as you can see here, like the lineup came out better. Like, it's a whole lot better than if we would have just kept it natural, and it gives them more of a masculine look. But there you go, guys. That's a fade. But if you really enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. And like I said, with this whole coronavirus thing, it's pretty serious right now. I mean, I guess the panic has caused more chaos than what it actually really is. But I mean, that's how things go. You can't do nothing to prevent it. So don't worry about the stuff you can't help. Just focus on yourself. Keep striving, doing the best you can do. And soon enough, we'll all be back in the shop, cutting hair, making money, back on regular schedule. So just keep focusing on yourself right now. Focus on self-development. Now's the time to do that. But like always, I appreciate you watching, and make sure to stay tuned for the next tutorial coming up. Like I said, I got a lot of time on my hands right now, so I'm really about to be trying to put out these videos. So thank you.